Okay, welcome to tonight's event. It is the annual vendor Q&A with two of our key landscaping vendors, CPM and Coastal Pest Control. Tonight we're going to start with CPM, who is our landscape maintenance vendor. I got with us tonight Shane, Nelson, and Eliseo, and they're going to talk about the past year, which is really our first year with them as our main vendor for landscaping, mowing, trimming, edging, and all that good stuff. And then we can talk about what we can expect for the rest of the year and the summer for that matter. And we'll be able to ask questions along the way. So I'll let you guys take it from here. And thank you guys for coming.
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to be here and be able to have a chance to address concerns, answer questions, kind of talk a little bit about changing maybe things in the industry or products, etc. So again, my name is Shane Humble with CPM, owner-operator. If you're not familiar with the company, we're from Broward to Port St. Lucie, 5 branches and about 500 employees. But I have with me tonight Nelson and Eliseo, as Danny said. Nelson is our account manager that is looking to head up the branch in Port St. Lucie, and Eliseo has been with us now, how many years, Eliseo? 14, yeah. Long time, so you've got one of our true and tested veterans here, but yeah, so we're just here to kind of go through the processes and let Nelson introduce himself and his role within the community, and same with Eliseo.
So how you doing, folks? Good evening. My name is Nelson Ortiz. I am the client manager for this account. I oversee and support Eliseo for any of the above property itself, just overall maintenance, landscaping, everything we do out on this property and off the property. Landscaping needs as well. I work with the team and I work with your board as well to provide you that and get you going. I'm excited to be here. Get to see some people I don't get to see, but a couple I've seen as well throughout the neighborhood. We're here to support you, of course. We're here to provide you, obviously, your great landscaping needs. There are obviously questions and concerns. This is why we're here today. And at the end of the day, the main person that's always on site will be Eliseo. So I am his backbone, but if there is anything that he can't answer or anything that needs to go above him, it would come from me and then we would go from there, etc. But once again, thank you for having me here tonight. I have Eliseo, he can take it forward. Have any questions?
Most of the people know me. I've been here almost a year, so I'm here to thank you for coming. Thank you for having us this meeting, and I would like to hear about what your expectation from us, and I'll be more than happy to answer whatever question you might have.
Awesome. Thank you guys. So I think it's probably best that we just start off with covering, kind of where we've come from in this past year. You guys came in at a pretty hefty time for our community when we had to do a big cleanup, and then you followed that up with, all the services that were necessary for summers, and right out of the end of that. And so everyone who's here, but everyone in our community knows the challenge that it was, and I personally have been witness to the progress and change, but I just want to hear from you guys on the ground, what you've experienced, kind of how you view that progress within that last year, and kind of where that all lines up.
Sure. So and I'll have both of these guys kind of address the kind of boots on the ground experiences that they've had. I'll kind of talk a bigger picture in terms of, when we first came on, it had been kind of went through a period of, I think, the previous vendor maybe wasn't able to provide the services on the right time frame, etc. So we came on board when grass was taller than dogs, and it was an interesting because we had provided a proposal many months before and just kind of saw it get to that point, and so we were a little nervous coming on, but we got through it. It was fine. We learned the nuances of the properties, where it's most wet, where the grass grows the tallest, where the bodies have been hidden in terms of like backs of yards, or where the kind of the preserve had encroached into yards, vice versa. I think now we've got a pretty good handle, and as I review our hours as to what it was taking us to mow the property at first, when we first got started, we've definitely been able to progress and get those numbers to where I actually bid it at. Because when we first started, we were way exceeding how long it took in the budget. Trimming has been very consistent on that manner. The 4 individuals have been able to keep on track and get through. First few months were a little tough, just because there was excessive growth. But again, another one of those situations. They now know exactly where to trim, what to trim, people's preferences, for the front yards. I think that the crews are getting a lot more comfortable here, getting to know all the kind of preferences on which yard and sticking to that. So from an overview, company-wide, where we've seen a great improvement in the landscape, and that's what we look for a year later, because it typically takes about that. So that's from kind of a 3,000-foot view down. These guys probably have a different perspective, and I'll let them share if there's anything on their side.
Pretty much, I've gone on the property and drive around the property a lot during the mornings, early mornings, hours. Half of you are still possibly still sleeping, or at work, or etc. LCO pretty much is the boot on the ground. He's here all the time. Obviously, I can't be here all the time, but I am accessible to the property because I'm managing all the other properties in Port St. Lucie. But I do make it a priority to keep in contact with Danny and the property manager and the president just to make sure all the needs and expectations are met. Running a landscape company is not easy. There are some challenges, and we are working through those challenges. There's heat, and there's employees, and there's making sure guys show up to work every day. That alone is a struggle because we have to make sure they show up so they're all ready and pumped ready to show up here and provide you guys your wow factor, right, which is your landscape needs. So I think overall, from what I've seen on this property, and I've been around the property, it looks a lot better from what I've seen from previous in the past. And I mean, just overall, just the landscape changes that we've been making, I think it looks great. And it's getting better, and it's not like we're stopping. We're going to obviously, throughout the year, just keep growing. And amongst challenges, I know there's some challenges. There's always challenges amongst homes when it comes to weed control, edging. Everyone has their own way how they want an edge. Some homeowners want higher grass, some homeowners want lower grasses. So we're hoping we're going to build those expectations based on our contractual agreement, because we've had some challenges where homeowners will stop the team and go, hey, I want the grass this low, but then I get some homeowners that want the grass this high. So those are some of the challenges that we've been meeting amongst most of our homeowners, and challenges that LSTO has to deal with on an ongoing basis. And there's situations where, we went with a new system where we put in place, which was reflectors. We put reflectors because some homeowners wanted certain things touched, and some homeowners did not. So we put a 3-color coded reflector system out there now.
I definitely want to go over that new system so that
so
everybody's aware.
I'll throw that out tonight for you guys as well.
Yeah.
Once LSO gives us introduction. But that's pretty much, those are challenges. But once again, those are not challenges on a negative standpoint of it. It's landscaping. This goes with the business. It goes with any property you maintain. There's ups and downs, but we have it under control, and we're maintaining it. And he has a backbone because he has me, I have him. We have Shane as the owner. So it's not like we just have one person. We have several people on site at all times to meet your needs.
Yeah, and I know LSA, I see you out there all the time, constantly working. I don't think I ever see you resting, to be honest.
I'm trying to be on top of the work orders. I'm not like to stock work orders. So if I get a work order, I'll try to respond in 24 hours. But I usually do it earlier so I can, be on top of work orders. So I don't have a big staff and crazy, But I'll try to do my best to keep you guys respond any work order that you send to the office in 24 hours before.
Yeah.
Do you do the work orders during the regular day? While everything else is being attended?
During the day, all week.
And usually, so you get to the office in the morning, right? That's usually on Tuesday when if I'm in here, I see you coming. And then you get those work orders, and then
I get the work orders and email too.
Yeah.
That's from the email.
Yeah.
I get the work orders and email from Courtney,
Okay.
and then if I'm not here, I get it, and I try to get there and when I get time, I come do it, before,
So it's just to chime in, so pretty much our work order process goes in effect such as property manager gets it from the homeowner, it gets emailed to the property manager handles it, sends it to myself. And LSAO comes in pretty much every day, goes into the mailbox, he picks up his works orders, and we have within 24 to 48 hours to respond and take care of those. Those can consist of landscaping needs, or just edging, or weeding, or something that was missed, pretty much, and we do work those within business hours that we are on site, yes sir. So we do take care of those during the business hours.
that makes sense.
Let's say it's a side job, like, I don't know, something you wouldn't normally do for someone, but they want to pay. Do you have work orders?
Yeah,
for
we
that?
have,
We get
work order for it.
work order for
And how do you
Just
arrive at a price?
put a proposal together.
So you would email Courtney a request, homeowner interested in landscaping needs. It would go to Courtney would send it out to us. It would go to LSAO. He'll contact the homeowner, either by phone, and meet the person just so they can go over their landscaping needs or what they would want. And then we would go there, provide you a proposal. And if you decide that's what you want, the process is you accept it. You'll give office a call with a deposit, and then he'll give you a schedule. Pretty much the way it works is about 2 weeks out. We tell people, because we obviously supporting a lot of communities, and we have a landscape division that takes care of it. But yeah, that's how it will work. Yes.
So you mentioned that you developed a color code system, but I don't think that's been shared with the homeowners. Do we know anything about that system?
Yes, so it did go out in one of the weekly email blasts. The problem is it went out when we switched over platforms, so I don't believe a lot of people actually saw it. So tonight I want to make it really clear because it is being implemented, so you can go ahead and touch on that now.
I'll just tell you that we had a meeting about this a few months ago, and I came up with the idea, and we in LSAO as well, because of the situation we're following with some of the residents. Once again, some residents want weed control, some don't, some want edging touched, some don't want touched. So we do have a system in place, and there's a reflector system. And all you need to do is reach out to Courtney, and Courtney will provide a reflector. Pretty much, LSAO will go by, meet the homeowners, see the needs, and then he'll put a reflector out for you. I'll let him discuss the colors so that everyone can understand that. But we do have a color-coded reflector system.
So you provide the reflectors, or is that something the homeowner provides?
Courtney's been providing them, correct?
Yes.
And where do the reflectors go?
We need to put that out again, Danny. I don't think many people have seen that.
Yeah, we need to do a separate informational blast on that, I agree.
Okay.
We got blue, red, and yellow. Orange. Orange is for the long crew. Yeah. If you don't want the backyard to be mowed or touched, you just put a reflector on the gate, on the back gate, on either gate, and they won't go in there.
Just make sure it's visible to your crew.
Yeah. It's just I usually put it on where the hinges, where to open the gate. So I'll put it right there so they know. And obviously we told our guys to what that means. So we have all these meetings to tell them. Blue is for weeds, no spray, weeds, and
And to be clear, CPM only sprays in the beds, right? So
Correct.
the hedge veg and the tree beds.
yes. Mm-hmm. And the red one is for the trimming crew. So let's say if you don't want a plant to be touched, just put the reflector in front of the plant, and we won't touch that plant. But if you put the reflector underneath the number, your address number, and that means that or the mailbox, that means that we don't trim them all there.
Complete opt-out.
Complete.
Okay.
And the blue, if we put it in the same spot on the underneath the number, house number or the mailbox, we put a blue. That means that we don't spray the whole, we don't treat weeds the whole entire house. So
And I remember you had a question on that, like you said, I remember you saying, I know it went out, because we had a conversation, all of us, about that reflector, and I thought the reflector would be a good thing for the community, because we do respect every individual homeowner's needs, everyone has their own needs, and we do respect that. I think it's very critical then, that the homeowners understand when you let that memo go out, that it's not hey, today I want it done, and tomorrow I don't want it done, and I only want it done because the holidays are coming. This kind of has to be a permanent thing, because not saying people have options and they might change their mind. This is why we want to have this discussion. But it's very critical because if I had to stop the team, right, and it's a big team, and tell them today we're not mowing that, and we get them in a cycle where they know they don't mow it, and all of a sudden December comes and it goes, wait, they want it mowed. They're like, wait, it just becomes such a cluster, and it delays the process, it delays our mowing and trimming, and it just becomes a problem. So just so everybody has a better understanding. Not saying that it can't be changed, but it needs to be some form of schematic that we have an order of it, you know. So that's what I was telling Courtney and yourself the other day. So that's something that I think you want to influence in that newsletter and let the homeowners know that it's very important before they say they don't want the service, that they understand, be certain that's what you want.
Yeah,
Or
understand.
you send out that, you know, a lot of other communities will have like a twice a year opt-in and opt-out. Like every 6 months you can update it, but not in-out, like just, and Courtney will have, you know, the office will have a log of who's in, who's out, so that this person goes, they haven't come by and trimmed my hedge for 4 months, and now it's like this, and it's above our contract height, and we say, well, listen, we're gonna have to give you a proposal, we never did anything with it. Courtney's got a lot of it.
Got it.
The office has got a lot of it, so that way they can't, you know, try to say you didn't do your job.
Yeah.
It's-
So 6 months is a reasonable sort of bracket
Oh,
time
absolutely.
for
So-
to keep that sort of system
Correct.
moving.
And then you got time enough in order to update your list.
Yeah,
Yep.
You got another 6 months after
that
that.
seems fair to me. I mean,
So these markers are permanent once so you,
No, just like zip tied on like a fence post or on a post.
Or,
Yeah, it's a
right,
state-
but I mean,
state.
you're gonna leave them there
Yes.
week in and week out.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So, just to confirm, a yellow on the mailbox means don't mow
That's
any.
orange.
Orange.
Orange, yeah, okay.
Sorry.
So the confusion I have, so my neighbors don't get any of the services at all. So they've got one on the mailbox, but there's also one in the yard, kind of between our yards. What does that mean?
Not sure. Well, what color is it?
It's orange.
Well, that's just stating that, that's pretty much, there's one in the mailbox, because believe it or not, on
It's
the mailbox.
and between the yards.
Correct, because some people, if they don't see the mailbox,
Okay.
they want to make sure that yard doesn't get touched, so they have another one.
That's fine, I just want to make sure, because occasionally, and my wife may have talked to you guys about this, but occasionally we get missed,
Correct.
because we're next to somebody who doesn't get any, and then,
Got
and nothing against you guys, but sometimes if it's raining and we get a nice day, we'll just mow the front to make it, you know, keep it lower, and I think people, your crew may see it and go, oh, it's been mowed already, but the backyard didn't get done. So I just want to make sure the reflector doesn't
Oh, so
indicate that.
that's a good point.
Well,
Yes, sir.
answer your question. I have a homeowner that he asked me, he put a patch of grass. I think they pressure washed the tile, the roof.
Mhm.
So he got in having the grass in his dying. So he decided he was gonna replace it. So he asked me for 2 reflexes because they didn't want to move the little spot.
Until
So
it
I
really
gave it to him. I didn't give it, you know, for the. I just said, well, I'm gonna give it to you, but when you're ready to mow, just hand it to me back.
until it rooted.
And yeah, until they do it.
Yeah, because when you put new grass, you typically should wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks to the roots, and then as long as it catches, you're good to mow it.
Yeah, and you know, on that's an interesting, because there's been a couple places I've had to put, you know, grass or seed or something in. If I put like those little flags, like the utility around an area, enough of them, I assume the guys will notice that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a very temporary, couple week thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, yep. Okay.
does anybody have questions about the reflectors?
No, not about reflectors. Are we still on reflectors?
I want to, if anyone has a reflector question while we're on.
This may, I'm not sure I understood this fully, but the chemical edging that you do, which should be pretty limited, right? I mean.
Well, we don't do chemical aging.
Okay, because I see around a lot of the trees, dead grass around the trees, especially in the swale between the sidewalk and the road.
Well, the swales are being taken care of by another company,
Preserve.
right? The preserve area swale,
Yeah,
backsides that separate homes. I've seen them do a chemical spray, but that's not us.
I mean, I can only imagine if anyone's spraying. Turf spraying, by the way, is coastal pest control. So
Yeah, I
they'll
don't
spray
think-
on turf.
But they don't chemically edge anything, you know.
None of these companies
I
are.
don't know where that's coming from.
Yeah, it could be the homeowner.
I mean, it's kind of
themselves.
sporadic around the community. I see, I walk the community a lot. it's kind of sporadic, but you guys don't do any chemical edging?
No,
Okay.
hard edger, it's
Now-
it's a mechanical blade.
Now, if they've sprayed around like an AC box, I know we had a situation in your home, which I think LSU brought out, that was a mistake on our guy. But we don't do any chemical spraying, perimeter, nothing like that, no.
Okay.
We will edge, we'll spot spray beds, but we're not.
Just
perimeter
for
spraying.
weeds? that's-
Just for
Yeah.
weeds.
Yeah,
Crack crevices,
And
yes.
the driver on the
Yeah.
front end.
Yeah,
and
that's
the-
right,
right.
driveways.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pavers.
Pavers.
Yes.
Right.
yeah.
Question back there.
I did. So, question, if I have 3 tiers of plants, and I only want if I put reflectors and I want to just handle my curtains, everywhere there's a curtain, if I just put red reflectors in there, but I don't want them to see that in the first tier and not touch the second 2 tiers that I would love to have trimmed. How would you
That's
suggest?
pretty hard,
How
right
would
there.
you-
That's a trick question, that's not. All right, that's a good one, that's a good one.
How would I do that?
Okay, so you said you have 3 tiers, 3 plant material tiers, and the first 2 you wouldn't want touched, but you do want the second and the third tier touched, correct? So just place your reflector on the first tier, and now that me and LSL know, but it'd be good to send a memo out to Courtney, to say such and such, I am providing a reflector for tier 1, tier 2, and 3, I would like to continue, providing the continuous services for trimming. We're LSL shares so many times. I know he knows you guys. He'll know that. We'll remind the guys. And once again, it's something that we have to train the guys to remember. But that's the
Because
best
it's
way.
gonna confuse the guys.
It will confuse the guys a bit, but we'll have to train them, just so you know. Because that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll think, oh, the whole
The
thing.
whole
No,
bit.
just that
Yeah.
one tier.
Okay.
Which is not a terrible thing if they don't trim it at all, because then when you put in a work order to say they skip me,
Yeah.
when they go back, they'll just do that one. It might be a day later.
I want to make it easy.
Yeah, no, I
You
get
know,
it.
just-
I get it.
I
Yep.
got you.
Not make it easy, let them do it all.
See, but I can do that.
Oh, because I remember you telling me that. You don't want shear, you want to hand cut.
I don't do that.
Yeah, I remember you
You
telling
don't
me
do
that.
that.
Okay.
I have a question. I don't know if this indirectly relates to this whole color coding and trimming process, but turnover. You guys, I don't know what your turnover rate is, but I see different guys quite often. And then, is there a training process where they always know what our process is when you get a turnover and if we have new people on our property?
Sure. So absolutely. So a couple of things. The 4-person crew, I think, has only had 1 person turn over in the year. The 4-person trim crew, right? It was just
Yeah, just one.
Yep, just 1 person. So and it was, I believe, a family member that came back and joined. So he'd already worked with us previously at another spot, so he knew our processes. On the mow crew, you know, we probably have, let's say if we have every 50 people, we probably have somewhere around 3 to 5 in a given, so close to 8%, 7% in a 3 to 6 month period that will rotate out. It's the nature of our business because there's so much construction right now. That doesn't happen when we don't have home building. When construction's happening, roofers, block people are just literally will come and offer like more money on the spot. So in terms of a training process, they will go onto a crew in a common area for an X amount of time until we know for sure they know how to edge, weed eat, mow, etc. before they're allowed to use around homes. So there's no other real way to do it other than put them out because we don't. It's not like at our yards we have places they can go mow for 2 hours to see what they're capable of in endurance. So that's what we tend to do, and that's it's in our industry that's really the kind of the numbers.
So
Unfortunately,
that color coding system is standards throughout your whole organization, so they would be trained on that.
Yes.
They know what to do on our
Yep.
property,
Yep.
same as any other property.
correct. Yeah.
That's why our sales on site, so that if there is a new person, he trains them that as well. So yes.
Yeah, pretty standard in kind of almost all our HOAs right now down in South Florida. So good question. No.
So you, on your mow crew or your trim crew, you have the same individuals doing the same jobs?
That is correct.
So like the edger guy's always the edger guy, and the weed whacker guy's always the weed whacker.
Yeah. You need to get into a pattern,
Sure.
just basically for, it's gotta be repetitive before it to stick, so.
Okay. Well, I've had some beefs in the past, but your trim crew, the guy that hedges, give him a raise, he's amazing.
He's great.
Really, really good, because in the past, my hedges have done this, they've done this, and they really look good.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you. Nelson, I've talked to you about the edging thing before, where, where they're digging a tunnel along the
Yeah,
edge of the
side
sidewalk,
edging.
slant the edger. I think that's improved.
How's that looking?
It's improved.
Yeah, better?
Yeah, so.
Just once, and I say this again, 96 degrees, guys. I'm out there with them, with the humidity, not lying to you, 10 minutes, it gets brewed, and you're out there all day from the morning to 3:49 when you leave out of here, and pounding it. Sometimes, like I said, I tell you, I go out there with others there. We start it straight.
Yeah.
You get lazy, and then the elbow starts leaning in, and when the edge starts going sideways, which was happening in your situation.
Yeah.
So we're training them to get that straight edging going right now. And it's, like I said, it's training, but if it's better, that means we're working hard.
Yeah,
We are pushing, I promise you.
Or we'll catch him one-handed.
Yep, yeah, they get that too. You see that too. They get lazy, they just, we're working. Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you doing?
You doing?
My name's Michael. I have a few questions. I've noticed on Swallowtail that the grasses, which are on the, we call the swale area, in front of the black fences on the, I guess it would be the
The
south
north.
side, and they haven't been trimmed at all.
Correct.
And I think I've talked to Sarah about this, they said that we get to it, then, rain and things like that happen. And I feel bad for those people who live in that area because it doesn't seem to be right, and they've always been trimmed before. So is there any plans to do that, or is
So-
there a problem you guys doing it?
No, we don't have a problem, and I knew that was gonna come up because I had some questions with Courtney in regards to that at LSU. We are getting to it. What's happening is when it's time to get to the area, we get a rain. If we have to stop that cycle to continue the rest to go back, we'll never get our completed cycle. Plus, we also have mulch coming in right now, so we are gonna have to get all those grasses trimmed. So yes, it's on the schedule. Talk to Courtney today about that. We will make that a priority to get to because our mulching needs to be make sure that everything's tipped and trimmed so that we get, blown in.
Brings me to my second question, as to mulching. On the Silver Wolf, they were out there today doing the trimming, they did a good job. But the bed themselves still have grass and weeds in them. So I know that another crew comes another day, do the common area ones, another one on the hill, all the way down across from Larry and Larry, okay, from the map road up, that group. You guys cleared it out one time, whatever. There's a lot of grasses in there. At this point, it's going back. So if I don't want to put mulch on top of grasses, that should be, I call it weed whacking. That's the common area. Is there plans to do that?
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Because that's the area, that's more on the berm portion of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, those,
Burn all the way down.
yeah, I understand what you're saying, you don't want the guys to come and spray mulch and then
Right.
it defeats the purpose. Yeah, we will get to that area and we'll pull those out.
That's a common area.
It's common area,
If
yes.
it's a common area, we're gonna take care of it.
But inside the berm, we don't.
And we do the grasses twice two times a year.
Yes.
Because if we trim it every time, we're gonna go and kill them like grass.
Which grasses are you talking about?
Gotcha, gotcha.
That's gotcha grass. The ones on smaller
Which
fell.
ones?
Yes.
I don't know when the last time.
Yeah, those are Foxhatchee grasses.
A long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of hatchet.
That's why, so what happens with that process, I don't know a lot of people aware of this, but if we take our trimmer to those right now and you get them like balled up, like you usually see them, like a little ball,
Correct.
and you do them again before the 6 months, they're not gonna survive, they're gonna burn out and die. So that's why we have a cycle, we spend them out twice a
Yes,
year.
done this time.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get them done, and we know it's definitely because of the mulch coming in. Yes,
So
sir.
my third question is, the eyesore in front of the Silver Wolf, that area that they took down the tree, whatever, from, which was not, you're not involved in that.
No.
But I think we've been asking the homeowner or you guys to come with some kind of proposal to get that done, because the people who come home to that area see a pile of dirt basically there, bare area there, and I think you were gonna do a proposal to Courtney to get that done, but it's still not done.
The interest,
The entrance.
We talked about that.
I don't know, we're going to say to wait for the homeowner to, because they they did all the, they did all the landscaping on their house in there.
And they didn't do it.
They didn't do it. So I was waiting for Courtney to give me, they're okay to do it, to put it together.
My understanding is she's gonna give you, and want to get the estimate there, because what we're going to do is take their estimate and go to the homeowner and says, you gotta pay for it because it was your damage. And if they don't, then we're gonna go ahead and do it, okay, and tack it on to their fees, whatever, for doing it. Because it's just, I'm not waiting for those people to move in.
Got it.
Okay, Christmas is coming too,
Yeah.
So,
It's gotta be done, it's ugly.
so I have gone by there, just so you know, with Courtney, and I actually saw it without even mentioning it to Eliseo. I thought it was an eyesore as well. And I talked to Courtney and I said, we can present you a proposal
Yeah.
with our plan options. We would like to know what plant options you would want. The problem is when you start giving the homeowners options and they don't know what plant materials, they go with plant materials that don't work in that area.
Yeah, well,
That's
that's
the
right
problem.
there, that hedge material is pretty common.
Okay,
Put that back and then put grass back, and I don't think we're putting trees or anything.
No
else
trees,
in there.
just plants.
Just scenery, what we got.
Hedge material and grass.
It's there,
yes, sir.
that kind of thing.
Can have it all cleaned
All
up?
of that, it's
Okay.
gonna be on one way or another. We pay for it, they pay for it, someone's gonna pay.
Sounds good. Just side hedge material. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question about the weed eating, weed removal
We can go.
on the pavers. Is the inside of screened pool area part of your area of,
Not allowed
And if you have a porch, let's say a screen porch, we're not allowed to go in there because that's like you.
Privacy.
Per the law, actually, it's considered an extension of your home,
Yeah.
so we're not allowed it.
understand?
Because you got a second door there. That's why we don't.
Just a privacy,
Yeah.
yeah. Out of respect to the homeowner as well.
Yeah.
Makes sense. How about in the grass, weeds in the grass itself? Is
That's
that-
close to
A different kind.
Yeah,
That's
and
what we don't do.
Okay.
We can do it, but it's different.
Just use it.
That's close to yeah.
Along the same lines, I just want to get a clarification on what you guys do, and what maybe I have responsibility for. So, I know you're talking about tree trimming proposals. I'm not sure what a large caliceus that looks like a tree is that a bush or is that?
Is that Lucia?
Lucy's a.
Yeah, you know, they grow.
They are trees, they have trees too.
Yeah, they grow. Is that my responsibility or?
Where is it? And what, is it a contiguous hedge, or is it just?
No, it's a tree. It's like a tree. It looks like a tree.
It's
So
not-
I got one on each side of my property, and they're never trusted. I don't know if I'm supposed to get into that.
Yeah, that's your, we don't.
That'd be your responsibility.
Okay, and as far as that goes, and the maples are something that they, not the maples, it's part of your tree trimming proposal, some of the other stuff.
Oh,
Or that's just the common stuff.
oh,
Yeah, common area tree trimming.
So if any tree related stuff, I have to deal with myself.
Correct. What they do deal with is 18 feet in height of nuisance palms and branches.
That are touching like homes or rubbing on thing, will take off like halfway back so it doesn't rub the house.
Yeah, I don't have a problem doing it, I just don't know it's been.
And then on the clusia, it is a clusia tree. It's unusual to typically see a clusia as a standard form of tree. It could be a beauty berry. I'm not sure. I can tell.
It's just like, I think that's what someone else called it. It's, the branch or the.
About 6 feet
up
up.
here, then it comes out. But
Got
it branches out, it grows like a weed.
Yeah, so what we will do, we will keep so that our mowers can pass if it's in the front yard, so we can pass, we'll keep it up 6 feet, wherever the
That's
branches
size
are.
it's hard.
Yeah, so.
The second question is along the lines of weeding.
Yes.
So I've got pretty much rocks everywhere. So there's a lot of weed in certain parts. There's a lot of weeds in. I've been doing a lot of weeding myself. There's a lot of weeds in between the rocks.
Rocks?
And I'm afraid of spraying in between the beds because I don't want to kill anything.
Yeah.
So is that something I have to do or hire someone to do, or is that something you guys are supposed
Yeah,
to do?
you would do that because once you have rocks, we won't touch it. We won't weed it because if it becomes a projectile, you can
No,
start.
Oh, no, you mean spray.
You mean spray?
Oh yeah, we spray.
It's like
We just spray.
Yeah, we
We'll
just
spray for you.
We spray the weeds.
Yeah, we'll just spray for you.
We spray
So
the
that's
weeds.
just like a work order to Courtney?
Oh, okay.
Then we'll come by and our
Guys,
space.
I tried spraying, it's just not my.
We do it,
I'm not,
we
I'm
do
not
it.
using the right chemicals, I'm
Yeah,
using some.
we'll get it killed for you. You send it in for a work order.
Yep.
But going back to your Galucia tree,
Yeah.
if you needed a tree, like, we're not saying, it's not on our scope or contract to do, but if you do have a tree and you need services, you can hire us.
I can hire you guys to do
Yeah, we
this.
can give you, yeah, absolutely, we'll give you a proposal, and if you agree to it, and we agree, yeah, we can do it for you.
Okay, and you did do the, I know you've done the pavers in the front of my driveway, I've seen people doing them before, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. When you were talking about the deck, did they do
We
the
do
deck
the
in
deck.
the back,
Yes.
even though, if it doesn't have a porch?
If it doesn't have a porch, we do it.
We do
I
the
shouldn't,
back.
I shouldn't be spraying that.
No.
Because I don't want to overdo it too. Okay, that's my clarification.
Yeah.
Thank you, you guys did a great job. I really do appreciate
Yeah, so, Andy, did you have a question? Dan?
I have another question that deals with the tree trimming. I understand the board recently approved a contract for tree trimming that CPM is going to be involved in. And we have an area in the community where the sidewalk is covered by the trees that have grown over the sidewalk.
The canopies.
And on the state section and the Longspur. Is that part of your scope in that contract, that you're gonna take care of that area back there?
I think we just talked about commons, right, for now?
If it's common area trees.
It's common area
Then-
sidewalks.
Yeah.
I'm sure
common
that's
area.
included because if it's obstructing, walking on
Oh,
the
yeah.
sidewalk,
Yeah,
it is
you
included.
gotta walk down
Canopies are
the
lower
street
than
along
past
that
the
area.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
It's
so
it's on.
it's too low to.
Yeah, you're talking about getting that
And
back
all-
gate, you're talking about getting that back gate on, along, United States.
The back gate.
Where you walk
Longspur
out.
Estates past the very gate.
Yeah, I think that's one.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
that's
it,
it.
yes.
And I guess my question is that contract, I guess it's been negotiated with CPM, is there a timeframe when that's gonna be done?
So, not yet.
Yeah, I, quite frankly, Sean and Jody handle the tree division independently. Yes, they're CPM. Jody's been with us 22 years. He knows more about trees than I've forgotten. Like, he's a genius. Like, so I stay out of it. I don't know the dates. He runs his own schedule too, so, and I wasn't aware of the time frame. Otherwise, I would have asked him beforehand. I didn't know he didn't have a time frame, so I'll ask him. I can let Courtney know tomorrow or Danny.
Yeah, I know that he's working on it.
It'd be nice to have that input. I get bitched at by people, walkers in the community about
Sure.
not being able to walk on the sidewalk.
Yeah, the goal is to get it done early September, and I believe that was the initial estimate from Jody when we first had this conversation. We're just waiting to get that official start date, and we have multiple things, as you know, lined up. So tree trimming has to be done before we do holiday lighting and all that
Right.
stuff. He's well aware of that, but I agree. I think having that date is going to be really helpful to just kind of communicate to everybody. So we'll just keep working on that.
Was there one other question for landscaping? No? Maintenance? That was it?
So I want to touch on a couple of questions that I know have come my way, and I also want to just say too that I do receive a lot of homeowner feedback and concerns, and you guys know I send them to you directly, and immediately I get responses almost every single time, whether it's to you or to Eliseo. You guys, boom, it's like, yeah, got it, we'll take care of it. That's been my experience since day one working with both of you, so I'm very appreciative of that. I just want everyone else to know that that is what's happening, at least from my perspective. It's the same with the work order process. Placing work orders is the best way to get in touch with you guys. I keep reminding the community about that. I still get direct messages, which I'm fine with because I can just pass it off and you guys take care of it. But sending an email direct to Courtney or going through the new system, if you don't know how to do that, it's a quick conversation, there's instructionals, but we've switched sort of website platforms. So it's on our end to kind of help the neighborhood understand that new process. But again, an email to Courtney with your address, with the words work order, and then in the body what exactly it is, actually will suffice. So I want to get to sort of some of those questions that I've received, and one of them is like with the gates being open. So this is a bit of a hot topic, and we've discussed it before, but I know from you, you've always responded that's a problem on your end. You do not want gates to be left open. That's never the intent. It does happen. It's my understanding that can happen for many reasons. A gate can stay open because it's not automatically set to close on itself, or gets caught in some way. Some of those things can happen. Also, I guess it could be checked too, right? So the crew member who leaves expects it to automatically close, but doesn't do that look back, and it stays open. So I know there's a balance to this. How do you guys think we can approach this moving forward to try and eliminate, you know, potential issues and concerns which I know are like pets getting out and things like that?
Sure, again, it's funny. I have 4 kids. 2 of them are 19 and 20. 2 are 12 and 14. I have to tell them to brush their teeth every day. Every day. Unfortunately, it's the same. It's very difficult with the gates and fences. That is how it is with our guys. There are certain things that we have to go over weekly in our safety meetings and our trainings. It is close the gates. It's like, you know, make sure you blow off the back patio. Make sure when you're blowing, your blower tube is up until you get to the garage, and then wave it down so that it blows the grass this way. Because even though there's those rubber strips at the bottom of the garage, if you go with the blower like this, it's going to find its way underneath, and that's a pet peeve of mine personally. So, like, those are just constant training things that we have to go through with all of our employees. And you know, the process is, you know, the edger will go in first, and then the weed eater, then the mower, and then the blower. So there are 4 people going in and out of that gate on every single occurrence when it's mow service. First one goes in, he knows that the edger's probably just, you know, a few feet behind or whatever, so he'll look back, see him coming up the side yard, he leaves it. Same with the next guy, and then the mower will come in, come out, and then it's left open until the blower gets there, because the person on the mower, they have to get off, go back. We've you know, Palm Beach, Martin County, I don't know about St. Lucie, all have codes that you have to have a self-closing gate if you have a pool. Not all the homes have pools. So sometimes the guys get comfortable thinking, oh, it's just going to close. If the grass is too tall and we're not there to mow, but we're there to trim, and the first one goes in, and then sometimes it gets caught on the grass. If it's 4 days past mowing or whatever, it's all on us. They should be checking the gates every single time they go in and out. It's 100% we're responsible. There's no pointing the fingers at anybody else other than us. It's just something we have to constantly work on. It's really that simple. I hope, you know, at 18 I don't have to tell my kids to brush their teeth anymore. You know, but we're like, you know, we're like 16 years in. Like, you know, it's enough, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So we'll work on that. It's constantly a battle.
We have meetings every week, so we've been telling the guys all that stuff.
Yeah.
The ones who open the gate, he's got to open it and go in and close it again. And even if it's inside, and then he goes on the other one, got to open it and close it. Everyone that goes
and it's
in,
a safety meeting. It's addressing a safety meeting, not a procedural meeting, because the liability for us is very high, obviously. Whether it be a child playing in the backyard, whether it be a person's pet that runs out onto the street, there's numerous scenarios that it's not good for us.
I know that was the situation here with the pet, so
Yeah.
I know after that, when you called me that evening, I was right on the phone.
Yes.
Called the sale, put a text out to the team.
Yep.
We talked about it first thing in the morning, so we are definitely on it.
Yeah.
And this is something we go every day talking about. So
How live is your website with the calendar? Does that have the ability to be changed?
So it's a little different now. I'm not totally familiar with the new platform. We used to have it where it was absolutely live, so she would update it once she got your schedule and other vendor schedules. She would update it and it would be on there. I think there's got to be a better way. I'm going to work to try and find that out, especially with the new platform. So I agree. I think that's going to be really helpful to help everyone know when they can expect mowers and the crew to be out and about. They know, all right, that's a day I'm going to just double check, right? And I agree. I appreciate you guys taking that responsibility and explaining it the way you did. I think it's also on us to supplement that, right? If you have a concern of your pets getting out, that little extra look will just save you the headache and give you peace of mind, right? So, I mean, I don't have that issue. I don't have a pet that's in the backyard, so I don't have that concern. But
there is definitely concern.
there are many concerns. There are many
Situation
pets.
where we're going to mow,
Yeah.
and right when we're going in, there's a dog running after us.
Yeah.
So that's when we were like, and what happens is the first thing a person does is what? They freeze up, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and now the gate's open. So I've seen that situation show up.
That's
So-
the flip side of it.
Yeah,
That's-
so I think that's why that calendar
Right.
is very critical, we can get
That's
that.
what I was bringing up, it goes both, we've had many employees bit by dogs, it goes both ways, like, we also want the homeowners to be aware so that when we come back there, our employees aren't at risk, we don't wanna put the family's child or pet at risk by us leaving the gate open at it, so it's both ways.
Yeah.
So, it's
I
important.
agree, and I remember putting that in the sort of responsibility spreadsheet or the sheet where our responsibility is to make sure that there is no debris on the lawns, right? The pets are put away, like all of those things.
Pets, debris, poop, you know.
Yeah.
Pets.
It's
I've
right.
got a situation where I get a call, and the sailor explained to me, like, they're upset, we didn't mow the lawn, but we can't mow the lawn with dog feces, obviously, to make a mess, it'll be a
It's
disaster.
worse when the mower goes over and
Yes.
it's sprayed on
It
the wall.
just splatters all over the
Only
place.
that, the weed one.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have those.
When they spin that thing, it's gonna splatter all over.
So that's very
I'm
important.
trying not to laugh, I really am.
Yeah.
Just imagining this.
Oh,
It actually happens, believe it or not.
So I think you're right. I think we should prioritize making the calendar and the schedule a little bit more accessible. So we'll work.
Yeah, I've actually had one where we're mowing and the lady's in the back of her road and she's having a coffee. She's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Whoa, we're mowing."
Do other properties have it just on their website? Have you experienced it like very simply? No?
Or what they will do is if we have, so they'll post it, but if there is a change in schedule due to weather, they will send out an email blast saying, hey, they weren't able to come on the 17th, they're coming on the 18th. You know, we had a situation like that where a dog got out, unfortunately was hit by an Amazon truck and didn't stop at a stop sign. It blew the stop sign and killed a pet. But we had an email blast went out saying, please don't allow your pets in the backyard, the mowing service is taking place today.
Okay.
We opened up the gate to go in with reader, dog shut out. It was terrible, terrible situation.
That happened too.
Okay.
It's scary because I gotta go run after the dog to go get it.
Yeah. So I want to get to a couple of last questions here before we finish.
You know, they're gonna get as far as they can get before the truck is full, and then you may have residents who didn't get picked up and they feel neglected, because if it's at the end of the day, they've gotta go to the Martin County, one of the dump facilities, dump, and then try to get back here before end of day. Obviously, it would be something that we'd have to propose, because, you know, if the homeowner's doing it themselves, it's one thing. If they're hiring an outside company to do it, typically that company should take all of their debris. It's part of the charge. Now, in Palm Beach County, and I think same with Martin, there are bulk pickup for the landscape debris on a certain day of the week. You know, it's part of your taxes. So it's part of your taxes, you pay for it, so you have every right to put it out there and have it done. So I would definitely push that if homeowners are gonna trim, try to do it earlier in the week so that it gets picked up on the Wednesday. Because if we were to do it, unfortunately, I have to pay to take the material to the dump, so I would have to provide a proposal, and as awful as it seems to pay to take your trash, it's the only way to do it.
I'll have to get another truck.
We'd have to we'd have to probably get another truck in order to
Empty truck
do the
on
whole
Fridays
street.
and pick up on the.
Yeah, but it can absolutely be done. We provide that service in other communities.
I just wanted to make sure that that was known, how this becomes kind of added in. We have absolutely made it clear that Wednesdays is kind of debris pickup, and to try and prioritize or schedule out when they do that stuff. But
Okay.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Trying to think, does anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up? Hey, how you doing, Kevin? You have any questions?
No, just kidding.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Let's see here. No, I think we're pretty much good. I don't have any others.
I think that's what.
That was a thumbs up. I'm gonna take a
I
thumbs
think,
up.
I think you guys are gonna do that.
Yeah, so
Appreciate it.
we'll wrap up by first just saying thank you again for coming out tonight, participating in this Q&A. It helps our community see the human beings who are behind the name of CPM. This allows us who are here in the committee who work really hard to try and build this relationship that we have with you guys to improve the landscaping all across the board. You've helped us tremendously with that. There's no denying that we are way better off than where we were a year ago. So I'm very happy about that, and I know you guys will, but I'm definitely going to continue to kind of push forward so we keep progressing.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate your questions.